She's a homemaker, don't you know? She'll teach you how to cook and sew, and how to wield a hammer. It's the June the Homemaker Show.
Hello, and welcome to the June the Homemaker Show. I am your host, June the Homemaker, and today on June the Homemaker, we're going to do something super cool. We are going to make pizza dough, which is awesome. The reason why I'm making pizza dough today is because I'm actually going to make another one of those sausage roll things that I made with Homemaker-tron, only this time instead of buying the pizza dough, I thought I would make it. I actually found this pizza dough recipe with Nathan G.H. Slivovitz, and so this is my first time making any kind of dough actually on my own, so I'm pretty excited about it. It's bound to go badly, so you should be entertained. I found this recipe on allrecipes.com. It's just like a simple pizza dough recipe that somebody put up there. The first thing that you do is take a cup of warm water, you put it in a little bowl, and you put in a packet of yeast. It's kind of weird looking. Looks like all these little granules. Check out those granules. So anyway, I'm gonna stir this up, and the yeasty guys are gonna have a really good time. I am supposed to leave this in here, what were the words it used? Until it was like thick and creamy or something like that. Oh, about 10 minutes. So now, while that is becoming a thing, I'm going to fill this other bowl with the rest of the ingredients we need for the dough. We are going to need 2 cups of flour. I'm just using regular flour. I'm not using bread flour. I don't know. It's sort of like everything else. I don't feel particularly like I need to have bread flour for a bread thing. I sort of just use all-purpose flour because, I mean, why not? It does the job. So there's 1 cup and 2 cups. There's really nothing better than the smell of yeast, though, I have to say. Like, when you go into, like, a bakery and you smell that amazing bread smell, that's a yeast smell. So, whenever I am in the presence of bread that is being made, it just makes me feel amazing. So now we need 1 teaspoon salt and 2 teaspoons white sugar. Teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of sugar. Whenever I measure out sugar in teaspoons, I always think about Mary Poppins. And then I think, great, your entire childhood is made up of songs from musical movies by Disney. So, assembling the other ingredients, which were flour, salt, and sugar, took me approximately 3 minutes, so I have to let this sit here for another 7 minutes. Okay, I'm back. So the yeast has been sitting here a total of 10 minutes, and I'm going to add the 2 tablespoons of olive oil to the floury mixture, and then I'm going to add in the yeasty mixture, and then we get to mix it all up together and make everything a giant mess, which is my favorite thing to do ever. Everything a wreck. Okay, and here comes the yeast, which did in fact get pretty thick and creamy, if you want to know the truth. It feels so weird. This is like the weirdest thing ever. As I recall, when I made this recipe with Nathan G.H. Slivovitz, we actually had to add more flour than it had in the recipe. Like the water, the cup of water was a little too much for the flour. And for those among us who are like vegetarian and vegan, I mean, it's just flour. I mean, unless you count yeast as like animal cruelty. I've sort of always wondered about that. Yeast are technically like little microscopic creatures, and technically what I've just done is woken them up from their cold slumber in the refrigerator, put them in water, and gave them no food even though they're really hungry. And now I'm giving them the food of this flour, and they get to munch on that for about a half an hour, and then I'm going to roast them alive. So, I mean, I don't really know what PETA would say about that. You know what I mean? Do you hear what I'm saying? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Also, can I just say, I have a new favorite YouTube channel, and it's called Cute Things Exploding. And it's pretty much just that. It's just things that are cute, and then they explode. In, like, really violent, horrible ways. Thanks, flour. Oh, crap. And now I'm spilling things everywhere. Truly, this is the June the Homemaker Show. Could yeast be an ancestor for people, could they be like a microscopic people ancestor? Were we once as the yeast, and then we came out of the ocean and sprouted legs? Because then I'm basically killing my evolutionary ancestors right now. Oh hey, totally cleaned up with the dough. This is starting to look like a dough that I can be proud of. Basically the technique is that you keep adding flour until the dough stops sticking to your hands. So you remember how like I was totally like Freddy Krueger earlier? Now my hands are pretty much clean. Also, pizza dough is a really good thing to know how to make, because then you can make any number of things with pizza dough. Like you could make calzones, or you could make a pizza, or you could make fried dough, or this is a really good dough to like wrap things in. Like if you were going to make like a baked brie or something, I bet you could wrap it in this if you rolled it thin enough. Or like any of those rolls, like really if you just rolled it out flat and then you layered it with a whole bunch of vegetables and rolled it up and baked it, that would probably be good. That would probably be really good. I go to the gym. Ugh. Oh.
You're not going to put that down on the flour, are you?
Well, where do you want me to put it? We have one of the big industrial plastic wrap things because we shop at BJ's. I'm just going to cut that off. Well, I'm going to try to cut it off. And I'm going to wrap it up sort of gently in this. And then this is a good time to preheat your oven for whatever it is that you're going to be making with the dough. And then you leave it there for 30 minutes, and then I will bring it back to you. So see, it fits in both my hands now. I wonder how big it will be later. Okay, so we're back. It definitely grew a little bit because it's like bigger in my hands now than it was before. And so now the pizza dough is ready. So you can stretch it out to make it a pizza, or roll it out to be a calzone or a roll of some kind, or anything like that. It'll pretty much just do whatever you want it to do. So this is Jen the Homemaker, and we made some pizza dough, and I'm signing off.